Welcome back from that interview with Dr. Lucky Ogben, a lecturer in the Department of Guidance and Counseling in the
Right.
Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. And of course, I totally agree that the role of education in protecting Nigeria's democracy cannot be overemphasized
That's right.
because that's why even in INEC, there is a department called voter education where voters need to be enlightened. They need to understand that their votes count
Yes.
and why they should not be induced to vote for a candidate they would not have done so for, and why they shouldn't sell their vote. So you see, education plays a huge role,
A
and
vital
also
role.
you also need to understand the place of history, because if you don't know history, you keep repeating history, especially negative ones, and why Nigerians also should be involved in politics and not leave it to a select few. Still, it's a whole lot. E- 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 Education does a whole lot for the average man, and that's why I'm totally in support of it. Do you have anything to say on that?
Right. I totally agree with you, honestly.
All right, so it's time now for us to move to our next spot this morning on Morning right here on Delta Television, and it is the review of the national dailies. This morning we've got a number of them: the Daily Independent, Daily Times, New Telegraph, the Guardian newspaper, Daily Sun, Nigerian Tribune, The Punch, Vanguard is not left out, Daily Trust, and the Nation newspapers.
Right.
We begin with the Daily Independent newspaper, and the major headline here says structural gaps hold back Nigeria's 600k vehicle capacity. The rider NADDC says 40 vehicle assembly plants now operational. PDP launches Goodluck Jonathan's presidential campaign. Really? Is this still in talks? So they got a ticket for him? Interesting.
They did.
Atiku's fuel subsidy stance shows desperation for power. A statement credited to the presidency. Yes, and Adeleke brands Tinubu father of democracy. Okay, I don't know if everyone agrees with this. Sanwo-Olu unveils fresh roadmap to power Lagos with 3,500 megawatts. Tinubu's neutrality in Osun poll strengthened democracy. A statement coming from the Secretary to the State Government, George Akume. Can get details of that on page 7. Data surge propels MTN Airtel to 20.38 trillion naira revenue in 5 years. 46 dead as boat carrying farmers capsizes in Sokoto. This is a sad narrative, and I was listening to this on the news, and of course, your guess is as good as mine. The major reason for this was overloading.
Overloading.
And I'm like, this has been said over and over again, but I don't know why people don't hear. It's like the dilemma also of when a fallen tanker is in an area and people go to scoop petrol,
It's
endangering their
heartbreaking.
lives.
It's heartbreaking.
To the top strip now of the Daily Independent newspaper, Okorocha sues Uzodinma, APC, INEC over Imo West senatorial ticket. And lastly, from the Daily Independent newspaper, Atiku proposes new fuel subsidy model to slash petrol prices.
All right. The Daily Times newspaper is next. The Daily Times newspaper. And these are the headlines. 13.5 million naira baby sale. NAPTIP seals illegal maternity in Port Harcourt and arrests 3. At the top strip, it says military solicits media collaboration to enhance counter-terrorism. Nigeria's $1 trillion economy dream faces human capital crisis. Sokoto boat mishap claims 41 lives and 11 rescued. This is coming from Niwa. And at the bottom strip of the Daily Times newspaper, it says CSOs raise alarm over foreign influence, urge NAS to review policies. Well, that's it on the Daily Times newspapers.
We move now to the New Telegraph and the lead. Don't travel to Imo, Katsina, 9 other Nigerian states. UK warns citizens. cautions against all but essential travel to part of 19 states, the Federal Capital Territory. You can get details of that on page 3 of the New Telegraph to know why the UK is warning its citizens against traveling to these mentioned states. US national debt passes $40 trillion. 47 dead as boat capsizes in Sokoto. Aiyedatiwa appoints 1,004 aides. Picks commissioner, 3 advisors. Wow. 2027, Okorocha sues INEC APC over Imo West Senate ticket. Asks court to declare him APC senatorial candidate. Rather, we are ready for battle of ideas in Imo East. Oshun Guba, pursue unity, reconciliation, Tinubu tells Adeleke. And the writer 2027, build on success of Oshun poll. Opposition leaders tell INEC, Tinubu, as commission says, it will improve on conduct of the election. Youth recruitment for political violence won't be tolerated, IGP warns. And I just hope that they back their words with actions because it shouldn't be tolerated at all. Intensive unpaid caregiving linked to mental health risks. Intensive unpaid caregiving linked to mental health risks. And this is according to a study. Now, there's a photo speak here with the caption, Tinubu spreading opportunities across overburdened communities. A statement coming from the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, commissioning a project. Yes. And that project was in Rivers State, and it happened yesterday. Atiku, presidency in sharp political clash over fuel subsidy policy. APM, Wike, others take sides. Jigawa Varsity student develops AI-powered fire detection system. Now, this is what we're talking about. And I'm not surprised, honestly, because Nigerians, we are blessed and heavily talented. Niger, over 70% of health workers turn down postings to rural areas. Government to engage 384 ad hoc staff. Liberia charges former VP with drug trafficking, other offenses. Over 95% of startups fail amid Nigeria's $18.3 billion digital economy. And lastly, from the New Telegraph, NSIB running on deficit budgets over NIMASA NRC non-compliance.
The Guardian newspaper is next, and these are the headlines. The Guardian newspaper. All right, these are the headlines from the Guardian newspaper. Recipe for disaster. How poor regulation on hygienic practices worsen food safety crisis. Ribadu hinges insecurity on proliferation of small arms. Folarin, Adelabo, and others absent as Yewatda reconciles Oyo APC. 2027, Bakobi to sack Tinubu. NDC charges Atiku as ex-VP rules out 203 race. 2031 race, actually. 2031 race. Still looking at the Guardian newspaper, it says APC stakeholders group trade blame in Oshun Gubapo aftermath. Isheshade, traditionalists rally federal government to tackle insurgency and banditry. Federal government decade of gas grassroots. LPG drive gains momentum with Uyo launch. And lastly, police son clamp down on fake calculators, seize 14,000 in Lagos raid.
All right, we'll move over now to the Daily Sun newspaper. The major headline, Tinubu, Atiku, Wike, APM clash over subsidy savings. We've got a couple of writers. Presidency ex-VP desperate for power. No 30 trillion naira subsidy windfall exists. Government should account for 30 trillion naira federation funds, says Atiku. Wike asks if former VP will subsidize Dangote fuel. We need full disclosure on 15.8 trillion naira savings claim, APM. Federal government raises 7.2 trillion naira via bonds to address funding shortfall. Protesters storm INEC headquarters over Osun governorship poll. Okay, if you want to get details into that story, then get yourself a copy of the Daily Sun and head to page 25. Wike orders demolition of 30 buildings blocking Abuja Ring Road. Imo makes history, begins advanced robotic surgery. I love this kind of news, really. As campaign kicks off, ADC, NDC put houses in order first. And lastly, from the Daily Sun, UK warns nationals against traveling to 18 Nigeria states. The rider lists Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Gombe as high-risk states.
All right, looking at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, these are the headlines. Petrol subsidy removal. Presidency tackles Atiku, accuses him of voil face, says ex-VP spoke like a man from archaic past. As ADC candidate unveils plans to subsidize refineries, explains why Nigeria needs targeted capped fuel subsidy. At the top strip, it says external reserves to hit $53 billion by year-end coming from NESG. 46 bodies recovered, 15 rescued in Sokoto boat accident. Subsidy savings. NECA wants states and local governments to account for 10.4 trillion naira. 39 arrested as vandals destroy Lagos-Calabar highway. Remove manholes, iron reinforcement. On health, it says malaria. Local data could hold the key to cutting death, says Nigeria Health Watch. Adeleke visits Tinubu. I came to thank the father of the nation, he says. Don't stigmatize your opponents, President tells him. Yewada apologizes to aggrieved APC aspirant members in Oyo, seeks unity among party faithful. And lastly, opposition parties, CSOs task INEC on stronger technology to protect votes, urge political class to stop recruiting youth for electoral violence.
Next for review is the Punch newspaper. The screaming headline, states get special 435 billion naira for security infrastructure. And Nigerians are asking, where are these monies? The writer, governors hailed Tinubu for supporting states to tackle challenges. Gombe, Lagos, Ondo, Enugu lead beneficiaries of FAC Special Intervention Fund. Special Intervention Fund meant for security projects, roads. Over 46 bodies recovered in Sokoto boat accident. Very sad commentary. EFCC, ICPC summon NFF officials over 12 billion naira federal government fund. All right. Tinubu OPS kick against Atiku's petrol subsidy push. UK warns citizens against travel to Borno, Yobe, 9 others. Those are the headlines from the Punch newspaper.
The Vanguard newspaper has the following headlines. Christian killings. Why US won't remove Nigeria's CPC tag. This is coming from Congressman Moore. Says Nigerian government must protect Christian communities. We back US over persecution and security crisis. This is coming from Christian elders. Calls for thorough investigation and prosecution of perpetrators. And then we see fuel subsidy. Tinubu and Atiku battle, and the rider says subsidy restoration demonstrates ignorance on governance and economy. This is coming from Tinubu. Atiku unveils new subsidy model to target cap, budget, and track every barrel. And lastly, Olu of Warri's 5th anniversary. It's about culture, homecoming, and empowerment. Now, this one is coming from Wilbert, and then we have the Mr. and Mrs. Corner right here on the Vanguard newspaper.
We move now to the Daily Trust, and the lead here is this something similar with other headlines, other dailies. Articles fuel subsidy pledge sparks debate. Okay. BUK students arraigned for tarnishing EFCC reputation. Woman remanded for allegedly beheading co-wife. Okay. Wow. I wonder how the husband will feel living around her. Apapa Customs records 28.1 billion naira revenue in one day. 11 family members, 41 others buried after Sokoto boat accident. 98 days after, parents of abducted Borno pupils demand federal government's action. Wike orders demolition of 30 buildings on Abuja Road. Lastly, from the Daily Trust, EFCC ICPC probe 12 billion naira NFF intervention fund.
Okay, and the last but not the least is the Nation newspaper with the following headlines. 10 held for vandalizing Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. TRCN bars graduates not certified from teaching. UK warns citizens against travel to 11 states. Top surgeons set for advanced robotic surgery in Imo. 2025 licensing bid round winners get 60 days to pay up. On a sad note, 41 die in boat accident. Okorocha asked court to void Uzodimma's senatorial ticket. He says, I won Imo West ticket. Tinubu, a Democrat, says Adeleke on visit to Villa. Electoral victory, not a conquest. And this one here says, fuel subsidy return plan. Atiku ignorant, says Tinubu. And lastly, on the Nation newspaper, it says Yewatda takes responsibility for post-primary conflicts in APC.
All right, we can now head back to the studio as we discuss some of these headlines. Now, I want us to start with one of the